What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Loot Bros Podcast. My name is Zach, and alongside me tonight, he actually showed again, Joe.
Hey, what's up, everybody?
And I got the man, the myth, the legend, Matt motherfucking G.
Evening, gamers.
Oh, such a monotone good evening. How are you? Like, what's going on, everybody? Like, no excitement in his voice. He's not happy to be here.
I'm very happy to be here. It is just about as excited as I get.
It's Mappy and Matt.
Today on the life of Matt G.
I say good evening like I'm just stating a fact.
But we're gonna have a great show for everybody tonight. Unfortunately, Resident Darrell is at some stinky marketing meeting, and Kalai is out seeing a musical with her mother. I think she said Rocky the musical is what she was going to see this weekend. So it is just the three amigos. It's our dedicated third chair because Matt G has been on the show recently more than Joe or I have. And yeah, I actually, he might as well just jump right to the first chair because he's been on the show more lately than Darrell has.
Well, just replacing one bald bearded guy with another, we just sub in easily.
Now. We're all bald now. Me, you, and Darrell are all bald and have
I'm getting there.
You're
receding hairline. The receding hairline's real. It's a real thing.
But on to bigger and better things. November 3rd, don't forget, this next week's episode, but the following episode is going to be our Ghost of Tsushima recording where we do our Loot Bros Game Club. So yeah, you better.
You guys realize that I think that's the same day as Extra Life, is it not?
Is it? I don't know. We'll have to fight. We'll fight Tricky. It's fine.
I think it is.
And also, we have another expectation. Expect in the first couple weeks of November to start getting videos from Darrell and I on our little competition. He and I were chatting about it today, and he thinks he's got an ace in the hole, which I'm pretty sure he does because I have had zero time to go out and look for anything. I mean, I have my backup plan, but it ain't a very good one. So, little update. Darrell's probably going to whoop my ass, but hopefully my first week in St. Louis will be a little bit more productive because I know there's like 20 million game stores within like a 30-minute radius of me.
I have a question.
I have an answer.
Listening to your challenge, you said the rarest horror game. How are you measuring that?
So Darrell and I talked about an app a couple weeks ago called GameEye. So GameEye determines the value based on the quality of it. So we're going to be utilizing GameEye, whatever the quality of the disc is, the manual, the box, and everything, and then determining who has the most valuable, rarest game that way.
Gotcha.
Yep.
All right. I thought you were just going to have like JT like rate what the rarest game is. Like we make him in charge of every other contest. You might as well just make him in charge of this one too.
No, because JT'd be like, "Sir, I don't think The Quarry is a horror game."
Sir, it's not a 1 hour. It's not over a 1 hour platinum, so it doesn't count.
When he was talking to Tricky about lawn mowing, Tricky's like, "I will never play this game again. It is terrible. You have to mow something like 1,500 lawns.
60-hour platinum to mow lawns." I tried this game. Kid you not, I tried it because I was like, all right, this can't be that bad. Literally, I'm mowing lawns, and I'm like, all right, so I'm mowing this lawn, right? And I had the same problem Tricky had where it was like 99% like mowed. And I'm like, where the fuck is this tiny little blade of grass? And I can't find it. And I'm like, what the hell am I supposed to do? So I'm like looking around. I got my weed whacker out. I'm trying to find it, and I can't find it.
That's why Power Washing Simulator is the king, because you just hit the right on the D-pad and it like highlights everything. So if there's like one blinking orange spot, if there's one blinking orange spot in whatever you're cleaning, that's the part that needs to be sprayed.
This is how I know trophy addiction is a real problem, because you guys are playing Lawn Mowing Simulator. I remember when the Steam Deck came out, guy goes, "Cool, I could play what are those things called? The giant storage stacker. I could play Storage Stacker Simulator at my job," and he's literally a storage stacker on the pier.
Yeah.
It's life imitating art, imitating life.
All right, ladies and germs. Well, how about we hop into this week's toast? I'd like to give it up to our Patreon producers. My name is Effin Mayo, MZ motherfucking Nitro, Sadik, Redbeard Rick. So shout out to all of our Patreon producers. Joe, you got anything toasty tonight?
Yeah, the Yankees suck. Suck
Ooh.
it. Down 3-0. Suck
Well,
that ass.
I mean, you can say that all you want, but you know damn well Tricky doesn't listen to our show.
He doesn't listen to any shows.
That's fair. But I listen to his show every week. You know what? Maybe this will be the one week he listens to it and he hears us talking shit finally.
It's okay.
Matt, you got any toasts? Anything toast to?
To my buddy Eric's brother-in-law, Tommy, who got us center ice seats to the Devils today, which they won, so I'm very happy.
Let's go, Devils. Let's go. Rangers suck.
All right. And I just want to give a toast to our two hosts that can't be here. Thank you guys for letting us know ahead of time, like on Thursday when we were supposed to record. I love you guys. I appreciate it. So, all right. Let's get this toasting. Oh. What was that?
That sounded more like a fart than a sip.
Sounded like you burped back into the 2 liter. No. At least it's not time to check my social media.
Oh my god, time to kill myself.
But Patreon, we do have a Patreon. You can get in as early as little as little as $1, and you get stuff like our monthly Super Loot Bros. We also do a monthly deep dive on something. I don't know what we're doing this month. Well, I guess, yeah, I don't know what we're doing this month.
I might do that Need for Speed. I'm thinking about it.
Okay. Well, Joe going to do that pledge game that he finally finished.
I finished that shit like 2 months ago now.
Two down, 3 to go, right?
Yeah, 2 down, 3.
2 down, 3 to go. You also get early access to the monthly Driftcast with Kalai, Joe, and Matt here. They talk about the Stinky Switch. The Stinky Switch has actually got some good stuff coming out soon. I'm super looking forward to Pokemon next month.
Dude, really, Friday. I can't wait till next Friday.
Firestarters unite.
Bayonetta 3.
Oh boy. And then you also get early access to Loot Bros Comic Cast, and now you're going to get early access to the weekly Loot Bros WrestleCast. What?
Ding, ding, ding.
Ding, ding, ding. Yep. So this week we're going to be recording our first... Oh, God. But this week we're going to be recording our first Loot Bros WrestleCast. We got approval from our head of the table to start running it, so we're going to be doing that. So make sure you subscribe to Patreon so you'll get that a day early. This week's going to be a little bit of an exception. So during premium live events, because now they are on Saturdays, the episodes will be released on Sundays still, and there will not be an early episode for the weeks we have premium live events. But on weeks that it is not a premium live event, the regular episode will release on a Sunday, and you will get early access on a Saturday. Also, I don't know if Darrell's ever going to record another episode of 2236, so you also get early access to that if you want to sign up. Just in case he ever does, you're going to be the first person to know about it. Also, our YouTube is slowly going up. Darrell just actually put out a video podcast in addition to Kalai's solo episode this past week. So if you haven't, go over there and check that out on our YouTube, Loot Bros Podcast. Also, you can find us on Facebook at Loot Bros Podcast. We are a private group. Ask real nice, and one of us will let you in. And the Discord will also be linked in the show notes. So, with all of that said, Matt, what have you been playing this week?
Got a couple things that I've been going through. First up is Slay the Princess. It's a demo of a game coming out sometime next year. You start off in a forest, and it's a text-based adventure with a narrator, and the narrator says, "Hey, you're here to slay the princess." and you go, why do I need to slay the princess? That sounds something like, I'm a hero. You're not, heroes don't slay princesses. And the narrator tells you, if you don't slay the princess, the world will end. And you go into this house and it's like, hey, you can pick up this dagger. And then your hero narrator voice says, you shouldn't really be doing this. And as you go into the basement, you find a fairly normal princess. Well, she's like, oh, are you here to kill me? And you get choice dialogue options. You're like, you could say, well, no, I'm not here to kill you. Or, yeah, I'm going to kill you. Or you could just press slay the princess and you stab her in the chest. But then something happens, and the game has like different chapters and things you can go through. And as you restart, it's kind of like a time loop game. You do all the same stuff. You could choose different dialogue options. And I go down into the basement, and the princess looks malformed, like she's a monster. And it's really neat. And then that's where the demo ends. But you could start it up again and choose different dialogue options. And I did that again. And I show up in the basement, and now she's like a succubus or a devil looking type monster. So I'm really looking forward to that whenever it finally comes out. Also played early access of a game called Ember Knights. This is a roguelike multiplayer co-op game. You and up to 3 of your friends can go through randomly generated areas, defeat mini bosses, defeat regular bosses. You get to choose weapons, your typical sword, bow and arrow, a hammer, a mage staff, and then you have to get as far as you can in your run, earning embers. You use those to upgrade your total character sheet, and it's just a fun little game that we've been playing. I started another run of Cyberpunk 2077. The anime got me super hyped, just like a lot of other people, and I started my next run of that. Also played another game called Across the Obelisk. Have you guys played Darkest Dungeon?
Yes.
Nope.
Okay. So for anybody who hasn't played Darkest Dungeon, it's like 4 heroes go into a set path, and you get to choose which areas you want to go down. And then you experience events or monsters. And then, have you guys played Slay the Spire?
Yes.
Okay. It adds card effects into the game that you can use to fight off monsters or whatever scenarios you come with. The cool thing about it is, unlike Slay the Spire and Darkest Dungeon, this is multiplayer, and you can actually join up to 3 other friends. And you get you can go to different character classes, and each character class, either, a tank, a scout, a mage, or a healer, and there's multiple different characters in each of those classes you can earn over the course of your runs. It's another early access game, but it's been a lot of fun just jumping in there, seeing how far we can get. Because at the end, there's this boss tree. His name is Elmer, like an elm tree, if you don't get it.
Like Elmer Fudd?
No, just Elmer, like elm tree. And it's destroyed us every time. It's actually a really tough game. So it's a lot of min-maxing, optimizing, and coordinating with your teammates to get through all the challenges. But that's pretty much what I've been playing. I know we're saving emulator talk for another day, but I've been also doing a bunch of emulation on my Steam Deck.
Ooh,
I mean, if you ain't emulating on a Steam Deck, why you got a Steam Deck?
Because it can play a lot of other games that still aren't on consoles.
I feel like a lot of people use it to emulate a lot of things. Like, because it can pretty much do anything.
Yes,
it's a computer
in your hands.
Joe, what about you? What you been playing this week, buddy?
A fuck ton of video games. I played a lot of different things this week. You ever have one of those weeks when you don't know what you want to play, so you just start like a whole bunch of different shit and like you see what kind of sticks? Well, I had one of those weeks this week. The first thing I played, and I started because I bought it for like $7 on the eShop because it was on sale. I bought Tales of Vesperia, Definitive Edition. And while it doesn't it's an older game, I think it was like a 360 game to begin with. It's the 360 Tales game, and I'm really digging it. I'm loving the cast. I'm loving the characters, and it runs really well on the Switch because it's not that demanding of a game, which is nice. I love playing RPGs on the Switch, so it's really nice to play something that's like really easy to pick up and play. Other than that, I played on my Switch. I played Mario Maker 2. I started playing Super Mario Brothers 5 that guy made. Man, that's really cool. Like, Matt, you should check it out. Like,
I will, but have you tried any of my levels, Joe?
no.
I'm going to send you some codes.
Yeah, send me some codes. And I want to die over and over again and cry in the corner.
Man, I have seen so many of those videos where people just do the most insane crap for no good reason. Like, I'm like, how do you do this?
First of all,
Like,
there's always a good reason.
What in your demented brain makes you want to like literally like spin off of spiky dudes and never have a second to touch the ground, just completely jump the whole time you're in there? That is so like excessive.
I don't do that with any of my levels. I make a basic platformer. I'm not a genius. I don't try to do like insane, you can never touch the ground levels. I just make what I think is a good challenge.
I'm up for the challenge. Send me your levels, please.
Okay.
I would like to play them today, if possible. Agents of Mayhem. I played that.
Oh,
That was that.
Darrell's not on here.
That was that Volition game that they made after they finished Saints Row. But I actually think, like, from what Corey was telling me, I'm not sure if this is true. He said like people that worked on Crackdown worked on this game after they got fired from Xbox, and that's why it's so similar to Crackdown. Because I was like, man, this game is just like Crackdown. Like, literally, I think it's more like Crackdown than it is like Saints Row. But you play as different agents, and you're the Agents of Mayhem. But like, you unlock agents as you do different missions, and I think it's really friggin' cool. Like, all the different power ups and different things you can get. But basically, you play as 3 different agents at a time. You could swap out agents, and they all have different power ups and abilities. And I unlocked this Middle Eastern chick with a bow. She's awesome. Her name's like Ramna, I think, or Rama. She's pretty cool. And then I just have the 3 like starter characters, and I just beat the first boss, and I have like 16% of the trophies done. But I'm digging it so far. I'm definitely gonna play it through. I'm liking what I'm playing. I also played Assassin's Creed 3 today because, you know, why play pledge games when I can play shit that I'm not supposed to play?
No, something that's longer than some of your pledge games.
3's not that bad. 3's pretty. I mean, I only mainline stories. I don't really do much else in Assassin's Creed. I'm not running around collecting feathers and all that bullshit. I'm just playing the story and moving on with my life. But I do like the time period in which it's set. Like, you know, colonial times is pretty dope. And, you know, they're in Boston. I love Boston. It's probably my favorite city in the world. Love it. Well, at least in the United States. I haven't been to many cities in the world, but I would say United States, I would say it's my favorite place. I love Boston.
I don't get to travel, but if I did, this is
It
still
will
my
go to
favorite
Boston.
city.
Go to Boston. Go see the Red Sox. I started Dragon Quest 11S because I've beaten Dragon Quest 11 a billion times on all different platforms, but I didn't beat this one on PS4, so I was like, you know what? I'm going to see how fast I can beat this game, skipping all the cutscenes and just like basically just going through and not grinding. Like, seeing how if I can do that, like just not grind and just go from like beat the minimal amount of like enemies I can in each section and just go through. But if you haven't played Dragon Quest 11, it's one of my favorite RPGs that I've ever played. It's got a really, really awesome story. It's got a lot of awesome side quests you can go through. It's playable on pretty much anything. What's funny about the S version is it's actually the Switch port, which people are like, what? Switch port? Yeah, so the S is the Switch version, basically, or the special version. And basically what it does is it makes the game go from 2D to 3D. So you can play it like a 2D Dragon Quest game the entire way through the game, which is pretty cool. So instead of playing in 3D, like with all like modern graphics, you can switch it to like 2D 16-bit.
Interesting. Interesting.
What else did I play?
Not pledge games. Got it. All right.
Yeah, pretty much. I played Hot Wheels Unleash, which I thought was pretty fun.
Yep, I played it too.
That game has no right being as good as it is.
That game literally shouldn't give you like the best car in the world as soon as you launch the game. It's stupid. It's just like,
Well,
here's
it
the car that
depends.
has almost maxed out everything.
Which car are you talking about?
The mobile, uh, whatever the mobile car is.
You don't. Not everybody gets the same car. I don't think. I think they're random.
Oh, well, I got the mobile like purple car that's like got maxed out almost everything. Like I haven't had an issue with a single race.
I have neither. I have a legendary car now though, because I maxed mine out. Because what I did was like I just opened a whole bunch of loot boxes, and I was like, oh, okay, well I'm gonna open all these loot boxes, and if I open all these loot boxes, half of them are the same fucking car over and over and over again, because that's how they get you. So I was like, all right, well if it's gonna be the same car over and over again, that's how they're gonna get me. I'm just gonna like dismantle all these into like gear pieces, and then I'm just gonna upgrade my car to legendary real quick. And now, like, I'm so much faster than all the other cars in the game. It's sad. Like, I'm lapping people, and I'm like, oh, okay. Well, it's pretty interesting. It's good. I would say, and then the last thing I tried Mana Madan or Mana Madan, however you want to say it. I tried the PS5 version with like the cultivators like cut version of it, which
Mm-hmm.
adds like new scenes and different things into the game, which I thought was pretty cool. And you can only play it if you beat the original version, which I think is really cool because it gives like replayability. You can kind of go back and do more stuff in the game.
Curator's cut, by the way.
Did I say cultivator?
Yeah.
Curator, same thing.
Are you cultivating some crops on Mana Madan? You're gonna raise the dead a little bit.
Oh yeah. Oh, and one more. I finished a game this week.
Ooh.
So I beat Plague Tale Innocence.
Stop and played it yet.
That is a great game. That game can go to hell with its horrible aiming mechanics for the slingshot. Matt, have you played the game?
No, I have it across every system between PC and freaking console. I just haven't started it.
So you got to play this game, and people at home, like, you guys should make this one of our monthly games, because like everybody should play this on our crew, because it's a badass game. It's a real fun game. You're like a brother and sister, and you're going through the plague basically, and there's like rats everywhere, and they're trying to murder you. It's like murder, death, kill everywhere, and like it's just so cool because it's like all puzzle oriented. So like you have to like figure out ways to move the rats out of the way, and then there's like a twist in like at a certain point in the game, and oh man, it's such a fucking great game. And the final boss just made me want to fucking kill myself because he's fucking stupid. And there's like different phases to him, and you had to beat like all the phases like together at the same time. And I was like, this sucks. It's like, those old school boss fights where like you have to beat all the phases in one go. Like you don't get like a checkpoint between them.
Yep.
Yeah. That's what this had. But I thought the phases were like longer, but they really were only like one hit per phase, which made it a lot easier. But once I figured out how to beat the boss, I beat him pretty easily. I think the hardest section in the whole game was the aiming of the sling, because your weapon in the game is like a slingshot, and basically not even a slingshot. I think it's like a sling, like you sling rocks, like you like fling them, and like the aiming is so bad on the PS5 version, and apparently it's only the PS5 version that has the issue with the aiming, from what I've read online. Because I looked this shit up because I got that infuriated that I went to the internet to fix my problems. Because in 2022 you can do that. So, but that's what I played. What did you play this week, sir?
It's been a weird week. I've worked a lot, but I did get a little bit of time in. I played a little bit of the LTMs for Apex. Since Halloween time, they actually did a good job. They've been rotating limited time modes, so played a little bit of that. Also played a little bit of Chivalry 2. Matt and I were talking about that earlier. Hop back into it, and my buddies kind of were like, "Hey, it's free on Game Pass. Download it and play it with us." And I was like, "Okay, cool." And then I hopped into it. That is one of the most complex, like, first person. It's not even like a shoot. Well, I mean, it can be a shooter if you're an archer, but like a first person medieval battling game. It's like a medieval battle sim. It's ridiculously hard to grasp, but once you start learning, it's a lot of fun. like the direction you move your character when you're swinging your sword depends like how you hit somebody, and like you like your bow draw matters, like your blocking direction, like you have to block in a right direction. It's, oh my gosh, the button and reaction times you have to have with the controls is just ridiculous.
Sounds like you gotta get good.
It's hard. The tutorial was even a bitch. When you're first going into it, you don't expect it. You're like, oh yeah, it's just a little medieval fighting game. Like you think For Honor, and then you go into it and it's like hit your trigger, and then you have to hit it at the perfect time and swing back right, and then swing left again, and then swing right again.
It doesn't even matter if you're getting good, because you could do a duel perfectly fine, and the second you take out your opponent, some guy just shivs you in the back and kills you. It's crazy.
Yeah,
It's insane.
You can't block from the back, and you're not going to be able to see it. So yeah, it's 110% accurate. You're just like, all right, well, we're just going to throw this, and you go to like you can even throw your weapons too. Like you can throw whatever weapon you're holding.
That.
You can spear somebody with your sword, and then you pull out your secondary weapon.
I go, oh, I don't have my spear anymore. Okay, that's a problem.
Yeah, and then you're like sitting there with a dagger or a hatchet, and you're just like, well, this is gonna do shit for damage. Let me see if I can block anyone's attack with this. And then if somebody hits your weapon so much it'll break and everything. It's like one of the most like realistic, like medieval simulation objective based games that I've ever played.
You know it's not complex? Fire arrows.
And yeah, it's not complex. The amount of damage that a normal arrow does, it is so low when you're trying to level up your archer. It's ridiculous.
I pegged a guy like with 5 different arrows, and he just keeps coming at me and chops my head off. I go, well, that makes me feel useless.
Well, so
What do you get you with, an axe or something, or?
Yeah, it just comes up and hits me with his sword or his pole.
You can have a halberd, you can have a war axe, you can have sword, shield, sword, long sword, short sword. But like if you from left to right in the characters, so the archer has the least amount of health. He's like the weakest, has the least amount of armor on, and then the knight has the most. But he also carries like the biggest weapon, so it takes more stamina to swing his weapons than it does pulling an arrow back. So I can knock and fire an arrow like 4 or 5 times before this guy can come at me and swing and take one swing. But if he hits with that one swing, if he hits you right, you're dead. Low ridiculous. And then
Sounds it, yeah.
And then we everybody that pre-ordered Call of Duty, the Vault Edition, got the campaign early access.
Oh my god, please tell me it's good.
So all right, so I'm not going to spoil too much, but opening scene is Ghost.
Oh.
Like opening scene, and the game looks phenomenal. Like hands down, graphically better than anything we've gotten so far. Which I mean, I would expect it to be, but like just that opening scene, it just like sends shivers down your spine. The storyline's been good so far. I've only played through the first 2 missions. But seeing Soap and Ghost again, like
yeah, I saw the graphics for like a video of Soap, and I was like, oh my god, Soap McTavish, let's go.
So you don't. It's weird. So your first actual mission, you play as Soap.
What?
Yeah, your first mission you play as Soap.
It's like everything I ever wanted.
And you're following Ghost. So like,
oh my god,
and you get their interactions too, and it's funny because like if you're deviating from your mission, there's like banter. Ghost will say, "Hey, get the fuck over here" or something like that. He actually tells them, "Hey, like get back with the squad." Like
nice.
like so there'll actually be banter if you're not following the objectives.
I didn't play the remake. Well, the reimagining of the first one. Is that one any good?
That one's fantastic.
Was it good?
You're probably not gonna like one of the main antagonists too terribly much. A lot of people said she was annoying, and she was kind of annoying, but she was still like a really good like developed character. Her name's Farah.
Okay, all right.
But yeah, no, the first the remake was absolutely amazing, which is why I was so excited. The campaign was literally the main reason that I pre-ordered this game, and to get it was great.
Yeah, that's why I was like, because okay, so like we all know there's a dark cloud over gaming right now because Batman came out or Gotham Knights came out, and apparently it's the biggest piece of shit on the planet. Sorry, Daryl.
We
Did
haven't
Daryl
played it
pre
yet. We
did
have.
Daryl
I don't think so. I don't know
Daryl
yet.
pre-order that?
We'll have to ask him. I don't know if he's played it or not. He said he's looking forward to playing it, but like we've also had that issue where a lot of people are like, this game's shit, and it's really up to like who's playing it.
Nah, man. All the reviewers are bomb. Like the review sites are saying it's bad. Not like Metacritic like user scores. Those are bad too, but like when the review sites come out and IGN's like 5, I'm like, "Huh." And then when Kind of Funny gave it like a 3, and that's like Barrett Courtney who like plays Batman games like it's his life and replays each one like every year, and he gave it a 3 and didn't say it was that great of a game, but said he's still willing to play it. I was like, all right, maybe when it's $30.
Well,
But
I literally like that was like one of my biggest shticks was this game was only going to be on next gen consoles. So I didn't like if I wanted to play this game, I didn't have a choice. That's like what this game is one of the main reasons that I got an Xbox.
yeah, I mean, oh yeah, congratulations on that, by the way.
Yeah, it's been really nice to have to be able to load into a game like that instead of sitting in the loading screen.
Is it nice that to be able to switch between games on the fly and be like, oh shit, I can open like 3 or 4 different games and just like zip between them and not have to load them up?
Well, yeah,
Pretty cool feature.
It's been super nice because my wife's been painting her bedroom, and that's where the Wi-Fi is. So she's had to unplug the Wi-Fi a couple times. So I kept my Xbox One X as the home console because she plays on that one, and I don't want to have to pay for Game Pass for her too. So that set as my home console, and it's just like, hey, well, you're playing. You can't play this game offline because this isn't your home console. But then she plugs it back in, and I'm like, all right, cool, and just resume Call of Duty as soon as I'm done. Super convenient.
They have to find a way to fix that stuff in the future. Like I wish like everybody would just go to like a family plan thing.
Well, that's what they're coming out with.
Yeah. So
like,
critic review. So Metacritic Gotham Knights right now. Critic reviews. There are 6 positive reviews. There are 9 mixed reviews, but there is only 1 negative review.
I think
so it is getting around. So PC Gamer gave it a 49. Game Watcher gave it a 60. Guardian gave it a 60. Oh Young Geezer gave it a 65. Game Grin gave it an 85. Jux Video gave it an 80, and Mara Station gave it a 78. So
I mean, it is review season now. Like it is like it's we're 2 weeks away from God of War, right? It's like the 9th, right? Like 2 or 3 weeks away.
Ragnarok.
Crazy.
Christ, GameSpot gave it a 4 out of 10.
Yeah, a 4. Like a 4. What did they give Saints Row? Just for comparison, can someone look that up, please? What did they give the new Saints Row? Like, as I want to know which one. So you know what? Honestly, I want to save this for next week because I want to read reviews of Saints Row and reviews of Gotham Knights next week on the show.
Let's call an audible and do that tonight. How about that? Because because we don't know if you're going to be on a Thursday because I know your daughter has dance and
I got a dad up. Yeah, I know. All right.
So we're gonna call an audible. But first, before we do that, let's head into we'll save this. Let's head into our leaderboards.
Did you play anything else this week, by the way?
I did not. That is all I've played. I literally have had no time to play anything. I've played a couple of multiplayer games and then started the Call of Duty campaign. I played a little bit of it before we got on. Yeah, I saw that. All right, so heading on over to our Loot Bros leaderboards. Starting on the True Trophy side, we got Steigen Wolf in first place with 127 trophies this week. And man, got the triple digits and is killing it. And then in second place, we got the affectatious Donk himself with 75 trophies playing PGA Tour 2K23. What in the golf? And then in third place, we got Hollow Madcap with 52 trophies playing Vermintide 2, which is a very good RPG if no one else has played it. Hey, we got Joe actually in fourth place this week with 25 trophies.
Jesus, I didn't even try this week and I'm in fourth place.
And then we got Tricky Mick in fifth place with 16 trophies. So the reason I haven't played any PlayStation this week is because tomorrow we start a trophy competition. Me, Daryl, Rick, and a couple of other people are starting a trophy competition, and I was like, I haven't played like hardly anything on PlayStation now.
Like your
So-
own, or like
No, so one of the community members asked to post it in the group, and we all joined it. I think we have. Hold on, let me-
oh man, I wish I would have been on that.
you can still join. It's still the 22nd. Just find the post and comment on it. We have, let's see, we have 37 people competing.
It's a lot of people.
Well, I think it's the top three. It's $1,000 in PlayStation credit divided up between the top three people.
All right, cool.
So yeah, and then it's like a basic breakdown.
Right.
It's not like a rarity of trophies, so it's like bronze trophies are worth this much, silver trophies are worth this much, gold trophies and platinums are worth this much. The games
nice.
and then the games, but the main storyline and the platinums have to be over a certain amount, a certain time. So I was like, nah, I'm not going to touch the PlayStation this week, but I did touch my Xbox a little bit. Speaking of my Xbox, actually, my last achievement was in Chivalry 2. But moving over to the True Achievements leaderboard, we got Mr. Sony Pony TUCJ with 2,075 achievement points. There's a far cry from where we were at last week, or not last week, the week before last, when it was like, I think it was like 5-digit, 6-digit numbers, something ridiculous. And then second in place, I'm styling on your bro with 1,365 achievement points. Holy shit. And from the grave, we have T-Bird 803 with 340 achievement points.
Whoa, that guy's alive?
I don't know. He's supposed to have been on the show. I think once or twice. Now him and Daryl's supposed to do something, but and then in fourth place, Sadik. Looks like Sadik took kind of an easy week this week with 185 achievement points. And then not following him far behind in fifth place, GDI Master Race with 180 achievement points. And then I trail behind him with 85. Like I said, I played a few games this week, not much, but. And then I do not have access to the backlog beatdown, so we will get that update in for you folks next week when we record. And moving on to community questions. So our first one actually isn't really a question. It's more of a statement from JT. JT says, poop socks. What more is there to say?
Apparently only one more question.
Poop socks, right? Just poop socks? Anybody? Anybody got anything else? Is there anything more to say?
No, there's not.
I have something to say. JT, you're a traitor. You've been on Trophy Horse more than you've been on the Loot Bros lately. I declare heresy.
Are people inviting him on the show though? Like that's the thing. Like if they're not inviting him on the show, he can't come on, can he?
I think so. That's fair. I mean, JT, you're more than welcome to come on anytime you ever want to come on. Just
open door policy.
Yeah, shoot Daryl or me a message. I don't care. Speaking of Daryl, Daryl writes in this week, what spooky game would you pick for each podcast co-host to play for Halloween? So let me lay down Daryl, Kalai, Joe, me, Matt, since we're the normal five. Matt, what game would you give each of us, even if it's something different?
I've been jumping back and forth between a whole bunch of different options for you all, so this is the best I can figure it out. Since Daryl's been playing a lot of Five Nights at Freddy's Security Breach with his kids, I now suggest he go in and find Poppy Playtime, which I know it's on Steam. I don't know, but I'm going to link you guys a picture of the monster from this game, and you tell me what you think. But it's a very Five Nights at Freddy's type thing. You know, you're in a playhouse, or not a playhouse, a toy factory, and this thing, Huggy Wuggy is its name, hunts you, and it is straight up nightmare material. So I give Daryl that. Zach, for you, I'm going to give Project Zomboid, which is a very, very, very realistic zombie survival game. It's a top-down isometric one where you start in a house, and you can start off like as a bunch of different classes, as like a fireman or a policeman or a doctor. And obviously that means you're proficient in something. So if you're a doctor, you may not be proficient in firearms, but you might be able to heal better. If you're a fireman, you're better, you have like better stamina and can run for longer distances. But everything you do matters. So if you break a window to get into a house, zombies may hear you and swarm you. If you run, you're making noise. Zombies will hear you and swarm you. If you injure yourself, you have to, you could rip down you rip apart a shirt to make a bandage so that way you can heal your wound or at least put pressure on it. So I think you might have fun with that one. Joe, I'm going to give you Lone Survivor on, it was predominantly on the Vita, but it's on a couple other systems. It's a side scroller type game. You wake up, the world has been taken over by mutants, and you gotta sneak past a lot of them because just like survival horror, you don't have as much ammo to be able to take out everything. And Kalai, I'm going to give, it's a PS1 style game called Alyssa. It's kind of like Resident Evil, the old Resident Evil games, but you are in like this creepy dollhouse trying to escape. So those would be my recommendations.
Joe, what you got? You got anything for us yet?
Yeah, I mean, for Matt, I would say Gone Home if you've never played it, because that game is great. Gone Home is a great horror game. It's great, quick pick up, play. It's over in about, I mean, anywhere from like a couple hours to like a couple minutes. You could speed run it. It's fun. I would say for Zach, I would say Dead Rising 4. But like I would pick like the Frank's like Ultimate Edition one that gives you like all the special stuff and unlocks the mini games and all the other cool shit in there. And Dead Rising 4 is just completely different from like I never got to play 3, so I don't know if 3 plays kind of the same way, whereas like it's kind of less about like saving people and more about like being an action game, which I think was really cool, like a really cool departure for the 4th game. Like you're still saving people, but I feel like it's more action packed than 1 and 2 were, where 1 and 2 were essentially the same game, just set in different settings.
Okay.
Darrell, that's a tough one. What do you pick for the man who's pretty much played every horror game?
Something that's on PC because he doesn't play PC.
I would say he should play Darkest Dungeon. What do you think, Matt?
I don't know if Darkest Dungeon is like a spooky game. It's. I mean,
you die a lot.
Yeah, but does that make it spooky?
It's macabre,
I give it that. Yeah,
it's got a macabre setting. It's a really damn good
gothic.
Game. Yeah, it's a damn good game, and it plays well on pretty much everything. So even on Switch, runs pretty well. Kalai, I would say Gran Turismo 7 because there's nothing scarier to Kalai than a racing game because she sucks at them. Or another wrestling game.
She said she liked Forza Horizon.
Or I would pick another wrestling game for her because I feel like she's like really bad at those. Oh, thanks, babe. What is this one? Steak and rice?
As Joe has delivered food.
Sweet. Best wife in the world.
We just heard Joe get delivered dinner, everyone.
Yeah, it's beef and broccoli.
Ooh.
Like homemade from like one of those like meals in a box thing that you like make. I don't know what brand it is though. I can't like promote it, and I don't get like they don't get a promo code through us. So
not yet.
I should probably do that shit honestly because I buy enough of those damn things. Who else I've left? Well, Kalai, I said a racing game or a wrestling game, and if I pick like WWE like 2K, I think it was like 20.
She hasn't played 2K20, and she would have such a hard time with that game. It's buggy and glitchy, and the showcase.
You can play like that zombie mode. You know the zombie levels that you can play for like the.
Oh yeah, during the My Rise.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Those are officially like horror themed. But if we had to play a game all together, I say we should either play. I say we should play Friday the 13th because that game
Well,
is hella fun to get a bunch of people together and just play.
we talked about it for months, and we didn't end up doing it. But House of Ashes was what we were actually supposed to play this month and do a deep dive on for
Halloween.
spooky month. Yeah, spooky
Halloween.
month, which none of us did. But
I think we should do something for like January or February where we sit and we play all 3 games and we talk about the whole series, or we just wait until next year and then we talk about all 4 games because the first season will be over, so we can kind of do like a season 1 like retrospective and like go through all of them.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
They're great games. Matt, have you played all of them?
No, the only thing I've done in any of those series is Until Dawn.
Ooh, you need to play. So,
I mean, Until Dawn's
if you want something, if you want, all right. So that's gonna change mine for Matt. So Joe, yeah. So I was about to say, Joe, you're gonna I'm gonna get, since you like 2D side scrollers. This is kind of like a 2D side scroller, but it's more of an adventure RPG. Like it's a 2D pixelated adventure RPG. It's called Dead Pixels. If you've never played it,
I haven't.
I know it's on Steam. I don't remember how much it is. And they're getting ready to release the second one, which I'm actually kind of excited for. It is on Steam. It's only $3, so there you go. But it was literally released on like XP, the Windows XP era, like Xbox 360 arcade, when they had the indie arcade section. So that's one I highly recommend you play. And then for Darrell doesn't play PC games, but he should play Mortuary's Assistant. I want to see Darrell like actually say I'm a scared little weenie on stream. That'd be dope. Matt, I was going to give you something else, but I'm going to give you Little Hope now. One of the scariest games out of that whole bunch, hands down. Actually got me, like jump scared me.
Oh man, the stuff on the bridge. Oh,
yeah, actually, it wasn't the bridge. What got me the worst was the campfire scene.
Oh man, dude,
yeah, that was
so good.
That one was the first one, and then for Kalai, I would give her Back for Blood. She doesn't play a lot of those games really, but she is a shooter person, and that's kind of like a co-op game that she could play with other people.
She bought Back for Blood, if I remember correctly. Really? I think she did.
I think she bought it. It was on Game Pass, so she would have just played it.
No, she played it on day 1 on Game Pass because I remember she talked about it on the show.
Well then, then I have a backup for her. So me and Darrell have played it. I don't know if anybody else is, but Visage.
Okay.
That game fucked with me extremely hard, and it's like one of the best psychological horror games that I've played. It's more of a puzzle, like a puzzle horror game. So you have to solve like clues and hints and stuff as you're going through. And there's no like shooting mechanic or anything like that. It's like a puzzle horror game, and it's really good. And I highly recommend it to anybody. You can finish the game in like 5 or 6 hours. It would probably take Clyde 20 hours because some of the puzzles are pretty hard, and she has a problem with WWE. I think she'd have a problem balancing on some of those concrete the concrete walls in that game.
As long as it doesn't make her do like a backflip DDT, she'll be fine.
No, but it's that game is terrifying for a 5 to 6 hour like psychological horror game. It is absolutely like terrifying. But yeah, no, it got my brain working. There's a lot of really good puzzles. We did have to use a walkthrough guide in some parts, because it was just hard. And then on Xbox, there's actually a part where when you're fighting or you're not necessarily fighting, when you're trying to defeat one of the final stages in one of the storylines, you have to find a knife that's somewhere, and it'll glitch out on Xbox. So highly recommend playing it on PC or PlayStation. But like I said, we're calling it audible. This week's official topics, we're going to go on Metacritic and we're going to read reviews for games that have been released this year. So everybody, pull up a Metacritic for a game that's been released this year. And we're gonna read some of the bad reviews from users. We're not gonna.
Oh, I got one.
Yeah,
I got one for Gotham Knights already.
That's where that's where we're going with it. And
so,
if you have one, Joe, you are more than welcome to start, and we'll just do it round.
Man. So this one's gonna be a long one. So buckle in, and hopefully I can read this without messing up a lot. But I know it's a long one. It's like a page. So, Artificial G8D writes, "This game makes me question why the consumer loves getting fucked over by companies / devs with AAA games and loves to defend them for no reason. Before I talk about the game in general, I would love to state how despicable the devs are for hiding that the game was going to run at 30 FPS on current gen consoles, PS5, Xbox Series X, S, and X and S. Somehow they knew that may be the deal breaker for some. Good thing I bought it, played it immediately, returned it. Quite scummy and downright unacceptable. I bought a next gen with the intent of playing games at 60 frames per second, not 30 frames per second. If I did, then I would have plugged in my PS4. Arkham Knight looks a lot better, and it's a 7-year-old game." Wow,
that's fair.
So now he has sections. The game. Now I know I'm diving into the game knowing that this has nothing to do with Arkham games, and the story was okay. The opening was long, but was fun to watch. Batman dying. Then everything else was quite forgettable. Spoilers. The gameplay was so boring. The Arkham games had best way to combat different styles of enemies. Like if an enemy had a shield, you would jump over them, slide underneath them, stun them, or the enemy with a blade, you would evade them, creating an opening to attack. I agree. The Arkham games have an amazing combat system. This defied the combat standard in video games, which games like Spider-Man 2018, Shadows of Mordor copied. Unfortunately, the combat in Arkham Knight feels like a goddamn MMORPG. The enemy types are the goddamn same, with a big shield enemy, which feels like I need to fight them. But it's not an Arkham title. Yeah, but goddamn it, it's impossible not to compare it, because those games are a masterpiece. With the amount of crafting you do, my god, it's literally a mobile game. But the thing I will give this game is the grind isn't bad at all. Exploring the world feels dead. Where are the NPCs, bro? Was this during COVID-19 period? My god, laugh my ass off. I could walk around for hours and not find anyone. No people, no cars, no nothing. But my god, what's worse is the performances. Since I used the PS5, this couldn't keep a stable 30 frames per second. It dipped as low as 24 frames per second, and many people blaming the Series S for this laugh my ass off. It's just the devs being incompetent. They are a AAA publisher, and you're telling me this couldn't run at 60 frames per second? Give me a reason why this couldn't be on the last gen console. No, someone tell me why. I cannot speak for PC users, but from what I've seen, the performance is all over the fucking place. This game is just soulless. Wow. Unoptimized mess. It's a 1 out of 10. Why? Because Batgirl got a nice ass? So he gave it a 1 out of 10 because Batgirl has a nice ass in the game. Nice. If you really want to play the game, just wait until it goes on sale. If not, just don't buy the game. This is a game that is a $40 MSRP that there's $40 at max that they're selling for $60, $70. You must be out of your mind, or just buy the Arkham collection. This game just highlights how bad modern gaming has become. Would anybody like to comment on this man's long review?
He had some feelings about it.
Bro.
Oh, you have no idea what's coming next.
He's Go ahead, Matt.
I have a review for Overwatch 2.
Oh, God.
Not quite as long as Joe's, from ike.exe, everything is identical to the first one except the fact it's 5v5. Lazy cucks.
I mean, I was enjoying playing it. That is another thing that I did play a little bit of, but yeah, I've heard a lot of people are really excited for that game, but I mean, yeah, it's not too terribly much. It's just new places. They changed up the costumes on some of the characters quite a little bit. What I do think is really cool about the game is they did move over, like, so if you connect your account to your old Overwatch profile, you get to keep all the skins you used to have, which is really dope.
That is
So
pretty cool.
Yeah, so all your work on the original game isn't for nothing, and they've already started introducing new characters. Literally the first battle pass has a brand new character.
So I've heard like that if you're a player of the first game, that you can skip the tutorial bullshit in the second game, plus you get all the characters unlocked from the first game.
Yep.
That's pretty dope. I like that. That's a nice little bonus. It at least gives you something for, like, hey, you put in a fucking gajillion hours in this game and you get nothing. Good day, sir. It's like if you stole fizzy lifting drink from the Wonka factory, bumped into ceilings, and they now have to be washed and sterilized. And he's like, "Good day, sir. You get nothing. Good day."
So Alex Navarro of the Nextlander podcast was talking about his experience with it, and evidently for ranked mode, you have to do 50 unranked matches for it to unlock for you. And supposedly, if you played in ranked or played enough matches in Overwatch 1, it would unlock for you in Overwatch 2, and you have to do the account migration. His problem was he was having an issue with account migration. So when he started playing Overwatch 2, it was like, hey, you got to play 50 matches. Whereas other people said that they were getting it pretty much immediately upon opening when they migrated their account. So if you have account migration issues, that might be a problem.
Oh, well, good to know.
That's interesting.
All right. Well, I'm gonna move us over to a game that Darrell was really excited for. The Quarry created an account. This review comes from James Robert Kerr. Thank you for using your full name as a reviewer. Now I know who you are. Created an account specifically to comment on how terrible this lefty degenerate shit interactive movie, in parentheses not a game, is. Jacob, the straight white guy, is portrayed as an absolute weak, moronic fuck to nobody's surprise. The Asian chick is an expert marksman because
Asian chick.
because of course female and minority empowerment. These developers couldn't write a competent story or characters if it bit them in their arse. He specifically wrote out arse too. That's the worst part. I mean, he had no problem typing out shit or fuck, but arse, can't say ass. There are two possibilities here. One, the development team is full of alpha widows that portray the jocks that pumped and dumped them in real life in a way that satisfies their bitterness of not being able to keep them around. Or two, this studio is full of cucked communists that are doing everything in their power to emasculate and villainize white men like every single other person in the media is doing too.
Well, this guy's white.
Terrible story, terrible plot, terrible monsters that look like they haven't even loaded into the game properly. Creepy facial animations, social commentary, pandering to people that don't play these games, abysmal ending. The only reason I'm even making reference to anything beyond the propaganda piece that this trash is so that the moderate wimps that think calling out said propaganda is nonsensical and bitter can actually have a position to defend that doesn't involve their offended emotions. Another example of why video games in 2022 are a dead medium and need to be boycotted completely. I haven't even mentioned the terrible business practices that came from these amateur developers joining up with 2K. So they really are the most scummy, degenerate, talentless game makers that exist in the industry today. And that's saying something when Rockstar and EA exist. Not worth £6, let alone £60. These products need all of the shaming and boycotting that they deserve. And go watch Synthetic Man on YouTube if you want actual reviews and critiques of games that aren't afraid to reveal the truth. Metacritic, learn how to format your mobile site because writing this review is giving me cancer. Amateur hour continues. The whole industry is maintained by complete hacks. I love how at the end of that, or towards the end of that, he just straight up dogged on Rockstar and EA. He's just like, oh yeah, by the way, Rockstar and EA, you guys suck too. I know you didn't produce this game, but you guys suck too.
I just want to know when the next clan meeting is for this guy.
That man's feelings were hurt. He's like, oh, the shaming and boycotting that they deserve. Man, shut up and go play fucking Barbie's goddamn pony dream ride, some bullshit like that. But yeah, there was actually a lot of really good bad reviews for this. Like, let's see, this one is truly bad movie. $70 for 7 hours with bad story. Not recommended at all. Save your, and he spelt it with 2 U's. YUUR. Save your money for a better game. Sir, save your money for grammar class, please. Thank you. Yeah. Man, I could dog on so
He needs to
many
hang
of these
out.
people.
He needs to go on Grammarly.
They're so yeah, right. You have the internet. It's right next to you. Literally, most of the things that you type in, if they're wrong, your computer puts a little red line under it. It'll tell you that you spelled it wrong, so you can type it right.
What a fucking dullard.
All right, Joe, you got another one for us?
Yeah.
Give us another game from this year.
This one is also for the greatest game ever.
Oh boy.
Gotham Knights. 9-year wait for this garbage. Terrible performance issues, bugs, shallow gameplay, loot grind gameplay is horrible. Dialogue is horrendous. Boring, lifeless open world. Beaten by every single Arkham game for decades ago. And that is from Anti-Review Bomb. Wow, we know what your agenda was, sir. Who was going next?
He was very bored. Matt.
I got for Scorn, which just recently released, especially on Game Pass, from TMI PGM. I don't know what that's supposed to be, but he gave it a 2 out of 10. Don't be fooled. This is not horror. This is not FPS. This is walking simulator with no meaning, same corridors, and confusing puzzle solving. Nothing disgusting here but combat system itself. You want to hear the plot? No spoilers. You just revive, walk, and push buttons for 4 hours and die. That's the game. $40, please. I did download and start playing it and was immediately confused as to what I was supposed to be doing. The game doesn't explain much, and the puzzles aren't very intuitive, so I kind of get what he's saying.
So that's actually funny because I'm pretty sure that's what T-Bird is actually on our leaderboards with. That was his most recent achievement, was in Scorn. So I wonder if he just like started playing it, got through like half the game, and was just like, nah, this ain't it, fam, and just dipped out.
It was highly advertised as like, an FPS. And the second you start it, it's a puzzler. It's kind of like in the vein of Myst with some light shooting elements, as I understand. So I guess nobody was sure what it was supposed to be, but evidently it's also short. And I think that works to its benefit, because if you had to play longer than 4 to 6 hours of doing what they ask you to do, I might just shoot myself.
I've got one that's going to hurt Joe's soul.
Go ahead.
All right. Fire Emblem. 3 Hopes, because 3 Houses was the last one, right?
Yeah, 3 Hopes is the newest one, and that's the Buso one. So yeah, I was looking at reviews for that too. Funny, that's funny.
This is an endless trash. It seems the developers were only interested in making fast money. Characters do not spin their weapons before inflicting critical, and spells look utterly trashy. Even older Fire Emblems are far better than these ones. It seems Nintendo is not, in all capital letters, not delivering good games anymore. a lot of these are actually in Japanese, and I don't feel like pulling up Google Translate to translate half these reviews. But I'm gonna assume that everyone is very
not a fan.
unhappy. Everyone's saying it's a rip off of the previous game. The previous protagonist is treated like garbage. It's for being a fan made game, it's the worst. So Joe, what I know you played a bit of this game.
I played a lot of this game. Which one did you do? Did you do Three Hopes?
Yeah, Three Hopes. Yeah.
So I put about I would say 20 hours in this game already, which is nothing honestly. I really like this game, but I like Musou games and I really like Fire Emblem. So putting the two together, it's yeah, take my money. Certain things about the game, like the frame rate stuff, it doesn't really bother me too much because I've been playing Musou games since the dawn of time, and they always have frame rate issues on everything because you're trying to put 1,000 enemies on screen at once and have them all run, and you're trying to use modern graphics with every time you're trying to do it. No one ever dumbs down the graphics in these games to make the things run smoother. They always oh, we're gonna high res everything, and then it's just gonna chug no matter what. I'm interested to see Koei Tecmo's new game that they're working on. Was it the hell is it fucking called? Last Witch or something? Whatever the game that they're making now. That looks like a Musou / friggin' action adventure game that just got announced. I can't remember the name of it though. It looks fucking insane. And it's just a departure from what they've been doing. So here's to hoping that the frame rate's not shit.
Your frame rate's not shit.
Whoa, man. Whoa, man. Whoa, man.
Okay. Matt,
I'm up, right? No, I'm up.
Nope, Joe.
Hey.
Yep, Joe, you got another one. You definitely.
How y'all gonna skip me like that?
I mean,
all right. This one's gonna hurt Tricky's soul because it's about Last of Us remake for PS5. This is from Johan Ing. He gave it a 0, and he said, "I don't know what I was expecting, but it certainly wasn't this. It might have been the $70 price tag that had me thinking I was getting a AAA next-gen experience, but I was very wrong. The graphics are improved, but the gameplay stinks of a 2-generation-old 3D game. Even if you never played this game before, the gameplay is so old and outdated. I'm giving it a 0 because this game is everything that is wrong with the industry. Naughty Dog is driven by corporate greed, and charging people $70 for an old rehashed product in the middle of a recession is out of touch and gross." And I agree with every word of this review.
All I heard was Sony wants the money. Sony wants the money. When I heard that, all I heard was Shane McMahon's fucking intro song. Money, 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 money.
I think that should be the Sony executives theme song. He should come out to "Money Talks," money, 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 dollar, 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 dollar. Because all they do is charge $1 million for everything. They want $200 for that fucking Elite controller, and that shit has no features. It's laughable. Matt, you can even agree because you like tech like that. That controller is laughable for the price that they want for it.
Oh, the DualSense Edge, 110%.
It's fucking trash.
It's the same thing that I say for even the Xbox Elite controller. You're charging almost half the price of
a console,
a freaking console, and I'm sorry, a few customizable buttons are not freaking worth that price. You got Scuff making controllers that could do the same goddamn thing.
Oh yeah, 110%.
I just
Well, you know what? Like JT, I haven't heard a single bad thing from JT since I recommended the Scuff Instinct Pro. I love mine. I haven't had any issues with it. I don't have stick drift. Faceplates are interchangeable, which is something that none of the other controllers can do. I bought it for $120 from somebody, but it only retails for $220. I'll spend the extra $20. It's got interchangeable thumbsticks, interchangeable faceplates. It's got interchangeable D-pads. Yeah. It's got built-in buttons in the back. And they're not even doing so cool. The trigger stops is the multi-stage trigger stops is cool and all, but people literally send their controllers off to get mouse click triggers for a reason. And you can't even do that.
I have put hundreds of hours on my Switch Pro controller. and I've
Best
had
controller
issues
ever.
with it.
That's
The
the best.
battery lasts forever. The rumble is strong. The buttons are responsive. It doesn't have the Joy-Con drift. And it's like, I'm sorry, like, and then Xbox came out with their Elite Series 2 core controller. Hey, you could buy the controller without all the extra stuff on it. The extra stuff is what makes it elite. I'm not spending that much on a controller. If I'm going to spend that much on the controller, I'm going to go to Game Labs and design controller with like different colors and things like that I want on it.
But that's what we want. Like as consumers, like I want to be able to pick my color. Like it's fucking 2022. Like why can't I just go on a website and pick my color, Sony or Nintendo? Like, did you know in Nintendo in Japan you could pick the color Joy-Cons you wanted? Like you just go on the website.
Didn't know that.
Yeah, and they discontinued it now. But you used to be able to just go on and be like, I want 2 red Joy-Cons, and then they would put them in a box and send them to you.
And that's why Design Labs is so cool, because it gives you dozens of options. And no, it's not an elite controller, but again, I'm not spending over $100 on a freaking controller.
I'm not either
for something that could potentially be tossed because I had a bad day.
Or you have drift.
Yeah.
No, so I have the Elite 2, and my biggest issue is the way they dampen the sound, because they use a metal trigger, like a metal trigger, and a lot of the internals are plastic. They use these little spongy pads on the inside that they stick to the plastic, and those have since moved. Like they slide after continued use of, like, anybody playing an FPS, they slide off, and then you'll start hearing tap 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 really loud, and then then it's really easy if you pull the trigger real hard, that plastic just breaks. The quality of the quality on the outside of the controller looks fantastic. It felt great. A lot of people rant and rave about it, but the quality on the inside of the controller is absolute crap. I have so much stuff jingling around inside of the Elite 2 that, like, I can pretty much not even use it anymore. It's like, that bad.
I mean, I understand like gaming is supposed to be expensive hobby, and I get that, but like this is just bullshit. It's like, okay, so I'm already spending $70 for a fucking PlayStation 5 controller, like already, and I just got drift on my my red controller. Of course, I don't get it on my actual white one. That I could care less if it got drift because it came with the system, and I can replace it with the color I wanted. No, I got to get it on my favorite controller. Always got to get it on the favorite controller. It's like fucking Switch all over again. I'm like, make the controllers better. I'm already spending $70 on controller. Make them with better parts. It's laughable to be like, no, you got to spend premium prices for a premium controller. How about you just give us a premium controller? Like, unbelievable. Like, I shouldn't have to spend half the price of a fucking console. Like, you realize you could almost buy it. You could buy it. Actually, you can. You could buy a Switch Lite for the price of a fucking Xbox Elite controller.
Yeah.
Or the PlayStation one. You could buy a Switch Lite. Like, let that sink in. That's just stupid. I don't get it.
I don't either. But we'll move on. So I'm gonna hurt Tricky's feelings even more. I'm gonna go into Horizon Forbidden West.
Horizon Forbidden West.
I'm sure if I asked, she'd actually link me to her Metacritic review for Forbidden West. All right, so this one's from DS Pro. He gave it a 0. I'll start off with a positive note. The game environment is very beautifully crafted and well thought out in about 50% of the game. And now for the review. Character movement and combat are more clunky than The Witcher 1 and 2, inexcusable for a AAA title in 2022. And if anyone has ever played those two games, the combat is some of the most confusing in the first Witcher game. It's some of the hardest controls. A game touting its accessibility features lacks the easiest to implement of all, a colorblind filter. That just seems like a little mental misstep to me. But 2A, they had a subnote to this one. How many purple items are there in this game, anyways? Number 3, Guerrilla Games is attempting to rely on the hyper-realistic graphics while offering zero substance or innovation for gameplay, story, narrative, dialogue, or character development. 4, absolutely zero water collision mechanics between the playable character and the water. 5 character models are very poorly optimized in their routing. If I hadn't received this game as a gift, I'd return it post haste. There are multitudes of better single player open world games out there. So this seems to be like a really big trend. Is like a lot of people are like, "Yay, we got another Horizon game," and we're super excited with it. But out of your total user score, your total user distribution, 2,000 out of the nine, or sorry, it's a little bit over 2,000. Like 2,100 out of the 9,100 reviews are either mixed or negative. That's bad.
That is bad.
When about 25% of your user base despises the game you made, and and a lot of it seems to be the same, where it's repetitive. There's no character development. It's the literal.
They didn't play the game.
Well, they said there's okay. So there's a lot of filler in the game, I'm sure, right?
Well, it's an open world game, so of course there's a lot of filler.
Yeah, but the first game didn't feel like there was a lot of filler. The first game, the first game didn't feel like there was a lot. I didn't say there wasn't any. I get it. In an open world RPG type game, you have to have some filler to fill out and space out some of the main story points. 110% understand that.
But I felt like the first Horizon did a great job of just pacing itself very well, and you didn't have to do any of the side quests if you didn't want to. Like they were like you didn't have to do them. You could mainline the whole game and really not get stuck too much.
Yeah,
which kind of appreciated about that game.
I may upset you gents with this.
Oh boy.
WWE 2K22.
Oh, damn it. I was doing the same thing.
Well, no reason we can't hit it from both angles.
I wonder if we both have the same person. That'd be really fun.
TJI Sheer 2022.
No, I have only one here.
Okay. It may be a different system. 2K is the worst company ever. The game you can't play because of servers going down. So now we have to wait over a month for more people after 2 years. Each game has had people like Bruno Sammartino, Ricky Steamboat, Bam Bam Bigelow, Greg Valentine, Lex Luger, and more. Then we are missing others like Paige, the Bellas, Zelina Vega, Kurt Angle, Lita, Brutus Beefcake, Psycho Sid, Dusty Rhodes, Molly Holly, Reggie. This was supposed to be the biggest roster, and it isn't, and definitely doesn't hit different at all. How can you have Rey Mysterio Showcase and not have the best matches with legends in it? Legends made WWE, and for them not being in is ridiculous since 2K has had 2 years to do it. I know for sure they won't be happy with this. Then we need new moves. Then we need a new moves pack because hardly no new moves are in the game after 2 years.
So we've kind of we had a deep dive on this and a little bit of a discussion. I unfortunately I didn't get to participate, but so the replayability in the game is fantastic. Yes, there could be some varying move sets. But for what they had to go from, I ain't got no complaints. What we had in 2K20 to 2K22 is night and day. I will pick up 2K22 over 2K20 and some of the previous years for sure.
Yeah. Yes, 100%. I love 2K22. What a fun game. I feel like because I've been trying to do so much backlog beatdown stuff this year, like in pledge games, I haven't really touched 2K like at all this year. Like it's probably one of the years I played the least amount of a game. Like I beat it and I never played My Rise. I never went back and played like other modes. And like I still have to do that. Like I still have to really dive into the game. I've downloaded a shit ton of wrestlers and I still haven't even played half the DLC ones because there's so much goddamn DLC in this game.
Yeah, same. I'm in the same boat. All right. Well, if it ever loads, see, it doesn't want me to talk shit on this game, Joe, but I'm going to talk shit on this game because it's going to hurt your soul. All right, Gran Turismo 7.
Oh, we did a whole bunch of those.
I'm gonna give you some more because now, from the inception of the game, it went from not a lot to a lot. Negative reviews are from users are at 5,939.
Jeez.
How
Negative
how
reviews.
how many positive reviews do you think this game has?
70.
974.
All right.
And it has 5,939 negative reviews. So, this one is from Flucor. It is an $80 price AAA
What was
game.
that guy's name again?
Flucor.
Interesting.
It's an $80 priced AAA game that has heavy microtransactions, and the team behind the game halved the currency gain in the game in the game after launch to favor those microtransactions. Need I say more? This should be intolerable and illegal in such a game, but here we are. Lots of potential for a really fun game here. Great graphics, so much attention to detail in the cars and tracks. Overall, pretty fun gameplay. The cafe was a cool addition and fun to play through. I enjoyed the progress through missions and got a sense of accomplishment as new areas were unlocked. I wish there were more pages to explore and would have loved to be part of future content updates. Single player must be online for some reason, and server maintenance shutting down for more than a day only to come up with a terrible patch to ruin the game. There seems to be some very short-sighted upper management decisions that cut rewards for racing in half, making it a massive grind to obtain credits and buy cards. This is a full-price AAA game. I had no intention of paying more real money to buy cards to race. Give me a fruit game if you want to attempt this monetization model. The greed is glaring, and the minimal spike they're going to see in microtransactions will be lost tenfold when they try to release another game after this. My personal viewpoint is that they got my money for the game. They won't get a dime for the micros, and I won't be buying future releases from Polyphony if this isn't fixed. I have no interest in playing at all in the game's current state. Whew. How bad were the microtransactions, Joe? Did you really feel like you had to do microtransactions in that game?
I mean, not to beat the main campaign, no, but to like play the game the way to play like competitively, or to like unlock cars that you actually wanted to purchase, or like the harder to get cars. Yeah, it was fucking ridiculous. Especially when they have the experience, like they're like, oh yeah, you're only gonna get half of what you used to get for this, or like. And they did so many like stupid fucking things in that game. They're like, oh yeah, you can't unlock the same car over and over again for winning the same races. Like, remember how you used to be able to like keep winning the same cups, get the cars, and then sell them?
I've never played Gran Turismo.
So you used to be able to play like the cups, right? Win the cup, win the car from winning the cup, and then sell the car. You can't do that anymore. You can only sell the car once. It's fucking stupid. Like, it's such a stupid, like, it's because they want you to buy currency, and it's like stupid. It's just asinine, and it's really disgusting. Shit like that needs to stop in the gaming industry, but it never will.
Get him. You
Never
tell him.
will. It never fucking will.
All right, one more round. Joe, give us your last one.
All right, I'm gonna do. Hold on. I guess I'll just read this WW2K22 one I have, because this guy's got some stuff here. Only one here. He says the gameplay in the game is more fluid and fun than previous games. Okay, that's positive, right? When it comes to frame rate, I'm not some nerd that looks at the number of frames. All I know is that the frame rate runs at an acceptable rate when 8 wrestlers are in the ring at once. An improvement from the awful frame rate when 8 wrestlers were in the ring at once in the previous game. Which is expected from a PS5. Wrestlers look more accurate than the disaster that's 2K20. I am impressed that the Thunderdome virtual fans actually move during gameplay, except for online. Tons of customization options. Other than that, the game is garbage. The greedy developers didn't even add a proper story mode, and they are charging $10 more than usual. The lip syncing is beyond horrible. The developers were too cheap and lazy to make more proper cutscenes, so they just relied on tweets for the story mode. Very true. The overall ratings are incredibly. The overall rating are incredibly stupid, and some don't make any sense. For God's sake, why is the WWE so obsessed with Roman Reigns? Enough already. It's a joke that Roman's rating is 3 points higher than legends like Steve Austin and John Cena, two wrestlers that had a much bigger impact on WWE than him. It's an even bigger joke that Becky Lynch has a higher rating than a legend that changed wrestling forever like Hulk Hogan, who came up with this garbage feminist rating. when I created a roofless arena on daytime, the stadium doesn't even light up and it remains dark. A huge roster, and you can't even have a 50-man Royal Rumble match in a fake video game, despite there being one in real life. The referee doesn't count consistently. When I was outside the ring, the physics are laughable, especially the hair physics. Only 12 matches in Showcase, and they didn't even add Rey Mysterio's most iconic matches. Which, like, why did they even add Grand Metalik into the Showcase? No one gives a shit about him. I don't even know who that guy is, and it doesn't help that he looks like an off-brand Rey Mysterio. The online multiplayer is trash. Rey Mysterio has a cringe-worthy face on the original cover of this game. This made me remove the cover paper from the game case and rip it into pieces. The greedy developers want me to pay $100 for a decent copy or a decent cover of Rey Mysterio. I only recommend you buy this game until it's like $20 or $15. This is not worth the outrageous $70 price tag. This guy's mad.
It wasn't worth how much was paid for Clyde to play it.
Oh, it was worth every penny.
I mean, it was worth the laughs. Didn't she? What was it? It took her 17 hours to finish the showcase. The showcase mode.
Oh my god, it was hilarious.
The showcase mode,
which is like literally a half. It's like 12 matches. It took her 17 hours to beat 12 matches. That's more than an hour per match.
Oh my god.
And matches are on average 5 to 10 minutes long.
Yeah, people don't even wrestle that long in real life.
Exactly. Kalai wrestled like 17 Royal Rumbles worth of matches in real life.
All right, Matt, what you got for your last one?
Or she watched how many WrestleManias would have been, like 17 divided by 3. What's that, like 5 WrestleManias she could have watched? 5.5?
Yeah. 3.5 hours, roughly, but yeah.
I'm going to try to hurt myself with this one, because this is Elden Ring.
Oh, gosh.
Pizzol gave this a 2. I am not the type of person writing a lot of reviews, but in this case, I believe it's an obligation to warn those players out there that this game is definitely not for everyone. I bought the game for a lot of money and expected a huge challenge, as I knew about the difficulty of Souls games. I was prepared, I thought. After 19 hours, I decided to get rid of the most frustrating gaming experience I have ever experienced from my console and deleted the game. Not 1 minute did I feel any kind of fun spending with this game. In my opinion, it is completely unfair and thus annoying. Furthermore, there's basically zero story. Vague storytelling? No. It is no storytelling. Terrible. Beautiful graphics? I would not consider it such. Oftentimes, I was not even able to realize that there is an NPC next to me because it dissolved into the background. Music? When my 6-year-old son, without watching, just listening to what I am doing, points out how terrible the music of the game is, I realize why my frustration spending with this title is so big. I honestly do not understand the extremely high critics reviews why they call this game a milestone. Maybe for a niche group of players who like to be annoyed and frustrated by a game, it delivers. But I did not have fun with it for any second. So this was out of the Xbox Series X reviews. And looking at it, there's 1,626 positive, 135 mixed, and 441 negative. And a lot of people are kind of complaining about the graphics, or it's either too challenging, or there's no story, or like the mechanics of the game just weren't flowing from them. I get it, and I understand it's a game not for everyone. But wow, some of these just, their heads are up their asses.
So what you're telling me is people didn't know they were playing a Souls game.
It's a lot of people are like, well, oh no, the graphics look like they're from like 2016. They just haven't gotten very far out of the starting area.
Right.
Wow, did that first night kill you? Did it hurt your feelings?
Well, one of the reviews talked about how, well, the starting area should be easier. No, that doesn't prepare you for anything.
You has never played a Souls game, sir. Please go back to playing Hello Kitty Summertime Adventure.
Go play Barbie's Horse Ranch 3.
You just made that shit up.
Want to bet?
Is there a Barbie Horse Ranch 3? And why were there 2 other ones? Like,
all right, last one because we all know it was a good game, but apparently 7 people thought it was not. I got TMNT Shredder's Revenge. As a fanboy of this is from Binus2K. He gave it a 4. So not terrible. As a fanboy of the older beat-em-ups of the Turtles, I really hate to write this. In a way, I am disappointed in this game. It feels more like a party game than a proper beat-em-up. Almost in every screen, the perspective of the backdrops are just so wrong, or objects are way too big. Like the cars, for example. Cars are way too big. Completing all challenges is just too easy. The whole party just spamming taunts to be able to spam your super attack is funny at first, but it actually ruins the game for its difficulty and other mechanics. 1 out of 6 users found this helpful.
this dude's a clown shoe.
And then somebody else wrote in, I don't understand how this game gets a good rating. It's basically a polished version of an old arcade game. It kept me entertained for all of 5 minutes, button mashing. So you've never played a Turtles game ever in your life. Understood.
This is everything we wanted. Yeah. We just wanted the old game with updated graphics and controls.
Yes, and then we got the old games, and then we rejoiced.
Yep, and I'm surprised you don't have a platinum on that.
On what?
Did you platinum Cowabunga Collection?
Yes, I did. For PS4. Doing the PS5 one now.
He has problems. That's what he has.
I mean, it's not hard. I mean, the hardest one was a stupid fucking Sega game. Sega Tournament Fighters is stupid as fuck.
I was going to buy the Cowabunga Collection, and then I just got all the games on my Steam Deck.
I mean, it's worth getting, but yeah, I mean, you could just play the original versions. I mean,
I'm just waiting for it to go on sale. Once it's on sale, I'm going to buy it on Steam, and then I can play it wherever I want.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So I had to translate this one because I figured we'd get one that was funny translated, and this was and this is just plain stupid to give this game a 0 for this reason. 0. Through the fact that there is no Ukrainian voice acting in this in this language, and there is no Ukrainian interface. He gave it a 0 because they didn't cater to his language. How are you gonna go give a game a bad rating because they didn't? Hey, let me just put fucking English, Russian, Mandarin, fucking. How many different languages did they probably make this game in? And
there's
they're
some.
Like, oh no.
There's some West African tribe who finally got their hands on a computer and was like, "What? My language not in here?"
Well, what kills me the worst isn't like Ukraine's been dealing with Russia for how long, and this guy's just like, it's not in Ukrainian. Like, you have bigger issues to worry about, sir.
Yeah, can you even play? Can you buy video games right now? Can you play video games like do they exist?
You could do it more in Ukraine than you can Russia.
In Russia, games play you.
Oh my god!
No, with all the restrictions, nobody's selling anything over in Russia.
That's fair. All right, guys. Well, I appreciate all of you coming out, or both of you coming out. I say all of you because there's only 2 of you. I appreciate both of you guys coming out tonight, recording with me.
No problem, man.
You guys have any closing thoughts that you wanna get off your chest? This was a nice, fun, kind of more laid back episode this week, and we got to just. I honestly, I feel like we could have talked a little bit more on some spoopy games. We probably should have done that, but we can actually save that for next week, and then on the 1st of November, everybody can deal with their spoopy games. We'll have a spoopy topic next week.
Spoopy.
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 Yeah, but Matt, thank you for coming out. Do you have any closing thoughts?
Thanks for having me. I am looking forward to coming back to do our emulation talk, as you and Darrell seem very interested in having that conversation. There are certain areas to discuss that we will need to be very, very careful on.
I just want to know how I get a switch on my computer.
I mean,
yep, there's ways.
He can message you.
I want to know how to get a switch on my computer so I don't have it on my wife.
It's definitely possible.
I don't have to pay $55 for Pokemon Legends Arceus.
Yeah, there's ways.
Well, thank you everybody for listening, and this has been the Loot Bros podcast. We're going to run a random Ninja Loot instrumental after this, but we appreciate all you guys listening, and we will see you guys on the next episode. Peace.
Once again, these words will hit like a whirlwind. I've gathered my chips, now I'm cashing in. How come we can't find the passion inside ourselves to be who we're meant to be and reach out to people in need? Today is all we have, tomorrow's never promised, and we can't live in the past, gotta face all the things that haunt us. Circumstances, same old song and dances. Play the cards you've been given, there are no second chances. I've wasted so much time. I am flawed by this design. My mistakes, they follow me, surrounding me like a raging sea. Can I be a better me? The world I'm telling me I have to be. Rather stand and go against the grain. I'll be the one that will face the flames. If I told you you mattered, would you listen then? That despite all your flaws, you're still a 10 out of 10. You'd say I'm lying, but you're worth your weight in gold. All these lies that you've been told, so many people for hurting your soul. Love how they say that you learn how to roll with the punches. Talk about scars, but like a bunches. Pain will take anything that it touches to make it feel equal to nothing. I'm trying to speak into your soul to let you know your worth, so you can keep your head up, you'd survive worse. Can't you see yourself how you're meant to be seen? Hurting people hurt people is such a vicious thing, and I will never let anyone bring me down. I will continue to fight the fight and always stand my ground. Right is right and wrong is wrong, there ain't no arguing that. Wasted time looking back, I was so blind to the facts. All the people that I passed, everything that I didn't do. So afraid of life, looking up through my rear view. I've wasted so much time. I am flawed by this design. My mistakes, they follow me, surrounding me like a raging sea. Can I be a better me? The world I'm telling me I have to be. Rather stand and go against the grain. I'll be the one that will face the flames. Ups and downs, smiles and frowns. They say what goes around comes back around. Comes back around. Would you bleed for what's right? Choices to be made to find your way back to the light that shines bright. Day turns to night. Pray to God to keep you safe. You do your best out in the world to try to stay strong in your faith. I believe that you were great. Anyone can have a bad day. Don't let it get you down when things ain't going your way. Things change with just a blink of an eye. 1 minute you're feeling low, the next minute you're flying high. Yeah, this life is a wild ride. I'd rather fail a million times versus never set my mind to anything and even try. I'm not living just to die, I'm living so I can thrive. There will never be a day when I refuse to choose life. Listen to me, you were put in for a reason, you should know this. I've had darkness in my life, I know what low is.